YouTube. Welcome back to another episode of Mini Tribes, One Kingdom. It's your good friend John, and today we will be continuing our summary of the Bible with the book of Numbers. So stay tuned. Alright, the book of Numbers. This is the fourth book of Moses, part of the Pentateuch. And like Leviticus, it is often overlooked, probably because people associate it with counting. They hear the title Numbers, and they think, it's just going to be a long list of censuses and everything like that. But it's so much more than that. It's a very interesting book. And honestly, a lot of the things that you know about Moses and the time in the desert come from the book of Numbers. So let's summarize it. This book begins at Mount Sinai. If you remember back in Leviticus and Exodus, that's where the Israelites have been camping. God commands Moses to take a census of the people, the 12 tribes, Reuben, Simeon, Judah, Issachar, Naphtali, Zebulun, Gad, Asher, Dan, Ephraim, Manasseh, and Benjamin, equal approximately 600,000 men who are of fighting age. They are arranged in their camp and marching order. Then the tribe of Levi is numbered. Unlike the other tribes, Levi is set aside as priests for God. He gives them their instructions for how they are to camp and what parts of the tabernacle each clan of Levi is responsible for. God next describes the method to determine whether a woman has cheated on her husband, and then comes the outline for the Nazirite vow, how they must not cut their hair, they must not drink wine, and they must not touch anything dead. When the time completes, they will offer the appropriate sacrifices. After this, the tabernacle is dedicated. Each tribal leader gives a dedication of animals, grain, oil, and utensils for the service of the tabernacle. The lampstand is filled with oil, and Aaron consecrates the Levites so that they may serve in the tabernacle. After celebrating the Passover again, the Israelites finally leave Sinai and settle in the wilderness of Paran. What follows are several failures on the part of Israel. First, they complain about the manna that God has been giving them to eat. If you don't remember, God caused bread to rain from the sky and for the people of Israel to eat because they didn't have any food. But they complain and they want meat. God provides this, but the people give in to gluttony and greed, gorging themselves on the quail God gave them. Then Aaron and Miriam, Moses' sister, complain about Moses marrying a Cushite woman, and Miriam is struck with 7 days of leprosy. Moses sends 12 men, one from each tribe of war, to spy out the land. While they see all the blessings God is prepared to give them, 10 of the 12 become afraid of the people, possibly giants. So, excluding Joshua and Caleb, the spies rile up the people into wanting to return to Egypt. God informs the people that because they have repeatedly rebelled against him, they will no longer get to inherit the land he promised. Instead, he will give it to their children after 40 years. They try to fight anyway, but the Canaanites drive them back. What follows is the rebellion of Korah. One of the Levites, Korah, stirs the people up. Korah wanted the same authority and power as Moses. God ends Korah's rebellion by opening the earth to swallow the rebels. Afterward, God provides a test to show that Aaron is his chosen priest. Each tribe is to place their rod in the tabernacle. God causes Aaron's rod to sprout overnight, thus confirming Aaron as the chosen priest of God. God also explains more sacrifices the people will need to offer. After this, Miriam, the sister of Moses and Aaron, dies. The people settle in Kadesh, which has no water. Once again, they complain to Moses. God tells Moses to speak to the rock and it will bring forth water, but instead Moses strikes the rock in anger. As a result, he will also not be allowed to lead the people into the promised land. Aaron passes away, and Eleazar, his son, replaces him as high priest. After the people complain, and this time they are attacked by serpents. When they beg for mercy, God commands Moses to place a serpent made of bronze on a pole. Anyone who looks at the serpent will live if they have been bitten. The Israelites also battle and defeat Sihon, the king of the Amorites, and Og, the king of Bashan. Moving on, they arrive at the border of Moab. Here the narrative shifts. Balak, king of Moab, knows about the Israelites and that God is fighting for them. So rather than battle them outright, he decides to summon Balaam to curse the people. Now, the identity of Balaam has always been quite interesting. Several theories exist as to who this man was. However, who he was isn't really important to the narrative right now, so we're not going to talk about it. The facts are he knows about God and even holds a degree of devotion to him, whether real or false. God first refuses to allow Balaam to go with the men of Moab, but when Balak sends another delegation, God allows Balaam to go. On the way, Balaam's donkey is panicked and repeatedly angers Balaam, causing him to strike her. God opens the donkey's mouth, allowing her to speak to Balaam. He reveals that the donkey saved the man's life, as God would have killed him otherwise. Arriving at Moab, Balaam meets with Balak. He has the king build altars and offer sacrifices. When finished, God gives Balaam a blessing for Israel instead of a curse. This repeats 2 more times, much to Balak's dismay and horror. Balaam warns Balak about what Israel will do to him and to his kingdom. We now return to Israel in their portion of the narrative. We see them get involved with the Moabites and Midianites in their sacrifices. They begin to worship their gods, performing sexual unions in dedication to Baal Peor. This causes a plague to break out in the camp of Israel, which is stopped when the guilty parties are put to death. Phinehas, son of Eleazar, kills one of the men of Israel who was defiling himself with a Midianite woman. Moses and Eleazar then take another census, like at the beginning. Moses explains the rules of inheritance for a man without sons, allowing his daughters to inherit property. God tells Moses to climb one of the mountains on the border of the Promised Land. He will be allowed to view the land, but not enter it. God also tells Moses to take Joshua and make him his successor. Before going, God explains how each sacrifice is to be offered and sends the Israelites to war against the Midianites for their involvement in enticing Israel to worship Baal Peor. They win, and Balaam is killed along with the Midianites, possibly because he encouraged the Moabites and Midianites to seduce the Israelites in that way. The journey of the Israelites from Egypt to Canaan is summarized, and God warns the people to not get involved with the Canaanite practices. He explains the borders of the land and what cities were to be given to the Levites. God also provides refuge for those who accidentally kill someone. The book closes with Moses explaining how inheritance needs to stay within the tribe it is given to. So that's the book of Numbers. As you can see, it's a lot more than just a census and a list of genealogies. Numbers is a very interesting book, and let's take a look at the themes. Right away, we see several foreshadowings of Jesus. There is the serpent in the wilderness, the star from the tribe of Judah, and even the death of the high priest serving to allow a guilty party to return home, setting them free. We also see how seriously God takes sin. Israel has repeatedly seen the wonders God can do, and yet they continue to doubt, test, and rebel against him. Even Moses is held accountable for his actions when he rebels against God. Like Leviticus, Numbers shows just how far humanity has fallen from their ideal lives in Eden. And yet, God continues to care for and protect his people, showing his love and his mercy. Honestly, the book of Numbers needs to be read more and needs to be talked about more. It's a shame that it's not. And that's all we have for today's video. So I hope you've enjoyed. If you're new and you enjoy videos about the Bible, Christianity, faith, the church, hit that subscribe button and share this video with your friends, family, loved ones, and enemies. Give the video a like and turn on the bell notification so you can stay up to date with all of our latest content. Have a great day. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.